at the time of recording, Everton are currently managerless. They have sacked Frank Lampard. Marcelo Bielsa is no longer the favourite for the job. It's a rather husky voiced northerner. Sean Dyche is the man predicted at the time of recording to become the new Everton manager. So GYR has got his pen and paper out yet again and come up with Sean Dyche's 4-4-2 formation. In this video, we're going to run through the 4-4-2 formation. We're going to simulate it a season with Everton to see if it can do just that little bit better than Everton have been doing in real life. So without any further ado, let's dive in and take a look at this tactic. So guys, here is the 4-4-2, but before we do get into things, please do go into the description and show GYR some love. He is the tactics guru for this channel. He produces all of these tactics and he is back now live on Twitch, streaming stuff, streaming his save. So please do go and drop him a follow over on Twitch and check him out in the description. Whilst you're down there, if you do like the tactics on the channel and you've been looking forward to a 4-4-2, then drop a like on today's video and consider subscribing if you are new around here for the very first time. But this right here is the Everton shape in the Dyche domination 4-4-2. Now, I have quick picked the team so you can kind of see the players that will fit into these roles. But the main issues that we've got are players like Andros Townsend, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Ben Godfrey, all injured, just like Everton have in real life. So this is the team as things stand to start the season. So if we go over here and take a look at the roles, I'm going to run through the roles. We're going to break everything down just right now, and then we're going to do the simulation. So first and foremost, we have Jordan Pickford in goal. He is a goalkeeper on defensive duty. No sweeping up for big Jordan Pickford here. He has the additional instructions attached to him of take fewer risks and tackle harder. Now, you get the additional instructions, guys, by hitting this edit button here and tackle harder and take fewer risks. You know that they're selected by the green outline here. And you can see on the instructions tab, guys, that the additional ones are the ones with the white cog and the red circle next to it. So Sean Dyche, not exactly known for being adventurous in his fullback choices. He has got two here, fullbacks on support, and lots of additional instructions on these, but they are the same for both right back and left back. So this is what we are doing. So it's a fullback on support function with the additional instructions as follows: pass it shorter, dribble more, run wide with the ball, get further forward, close down more, tackle harder, and mark tighter. As I said, guys, that is the same for both of these fullbacks. Obviously, you can see Patterson and Malienko here as well. Reunited with his former Burnley man, we got Tarkowski and Cody here. These are both central defenders on defensive duty with no additional instructions for them. Let's move across, move up the field and move from right to left. We have the two wingers on both sides. Obviously, another former Burnley player here in Dwight McNeil. Both wingers on attack duty with the additional instructions of shoot less often and mark tighter, guys. So very good there. They are going to be getting up and down this right and left hand side respectively. Starting things off in the defensive midfield, or defensive more of the two roles, shall we say. We've got Onana, of course. He is a ball-winning midfielder on support duty with shoot less often and mark tighter added to him. Next to 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙈𝙚, who has the additional, he's a centre midfielder on support, sorry, with the additional instructions of shoot less often, get further forward, tackle harder, and mark tighter. Moving into the two strikers. Now, obviously, this role right here, the advanced forward, is probably ideal for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or the pressing forward, actually. He's good for both of these roles, but he is currently injured for 3 to 4 months at the start of an FM save. So we've got Neil Maupay and obviously Gordon here as the two strikers. So the pressing forward is on support duty with the take fewer risks added to him, and then the advanced forward and obviously on attack duty, it's the only way it can come, has the additional instructions of shoot less often and tackle harder. The tactical style, guys, is the GYR Dyche. Obviously, you can create your own here. It doesn't really matter as long as you follow all the steps. The tactic should, in theory, play as you would expect. I'd just go for clean slate or start with a gegenpress or something like that, and the tactic will kind of work in its own manner. Mentality, we are playing on a positive mentality. And in possession, this is how we are looking, guys. We are a fairly wide attacking width. Obviously, with the 4-4-2, you need those wingers to do their jobs and get up and down. We are overlapping, though, on the left and on the right. The fullbacks will be trying to push forward just a little bit more, just to add that a little bit more in terms of the match engine. We are passing into space as well in terms of our approach play. In terms of the passing directness, we are slightly shorter. We're not just constantly hoofing it. But we're not exactly playing an intricate tiki-taka style either. A slightly higher tempo, mixed crosses into that box, and then also running at defence in terms of the dribbling style, much like 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 used to do for Burnley. In terms of in transition, we've got a counter press when the possession has been lost, a counter when the possession has been won. We are distributing the ball quickly to the centre backs and the full backs via throwing it long. None of this tiki-taka roll it out rubbish. We're kind of almost getting it launched, but to the centre backs and to the full backs. Out of possession, this is how we are running it, guys. We've got a high press with a high line of engagement and a higher defensive line. We're not fully pushing all the way up because we want to remain solid in defence. We are triggering the press much more often and preventing that short goalkeeper distribution, and we are getting stuck in. Now, we have received a feedback from people in the comment section, so thank you very much for that, saying that they pick up a lot of yellow cards with this. If you do start to get a lot of yellow cards, if you are using this tactic in your save, just turn this off. Yeah, I think you'll be absolutely fine. So this is the tactic as things stand. If we go into the competitions before we start simulating, if we go onto the season preview, Everton are predicted to finish 12th. Now, obviously, they're not in 12th right now in real life. So we will be aiming to get as high up the table as humanly possible with this tactic. And let me say, guys, it will not disappoint. So let's simulate the season and see how we get on. So, guys, the 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 4-4-2 has been doing some unbelievable work, and the Toffees will be playing Europa League football next season. This tactic has done an absolute madness. Everton have finished in 5th. Obviously, Liverpool, unfortunately for you Evertonians, do win the league. Man City, Arsenal and Manchester United round off that top 4 for the Champions League spots. Everton then are in the Europa League reckoning. 66 points for them, so 3 points outside the Champions League places. Much better now than it was or sort of in recent history. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, top goal scorer for the team in the Premier League, despite being out for the first 4 months of the season. He got 26 and 5 in all comps, which is very, very impressive. And he's now wanted by Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham and Real Madrid. So it's obviously done something there. And obviously you can see on the screen, Emirates FA Cup. It got to the final. I'm sorry, Evertonians, you did lose to Liverpool relatively convincingly in that final, but I think the disparity between the two squads is quite apparent. So it's done very, very well. What some of you guys have asked if you could see would be some of the team overview stats, so you can kind of see where Everton do fall here. Quite a lot in terms of red cards, but if we have a look at most goals, we are the team in 4th. We actually outscored Arsenal, Newcastle and some of these other teams, so actually done really, really well here. There's obviously no sign of Chelsea in here. There's no sign of who else am I thinking of? Tottenham there. It gets a decent number of shots as well inside that top 8 again with more shots than Chelsea. Fewer shots against, again, just about scrapes in there in terms of that defensively. Does really, really well there. It's not really a possession tactic, guys, so I'm not going to talk to you about that one. Most tackles won, we are up into 6th. The team makes a lot of tackles. Nothing in terms of dribbles. In terms of the fewest conceded as well. Not necessarily in that one, but if we expand the Premier League table and take a look at things a little bit more, you can see here 20 victories, 6 draws, 12 defeats, 72 goals scored and 56 goals conceded, giving us that plus 16 goal difference. I have to say, guys, this Everton squad is not the best. I'm sorry, Everton fans, but your squad's just not there, in my opinion. This is how things look in terms of the general performance. It's getting 1.61 expected goals per game. The expected goals against per game was 1.46 as well, so it's actually quite outperforming that by a decent amount. So fair play. 47% of the shots on target. I'd like to think if we had a run of this with Everton and DCL there for the whole season, I think things would have been even better with this. Or if you were trying this with a slightly better team, I think things would be a lot better. But we wanted to see what 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪𝙪's idea and style of a tactic would do at Everton with this 4-4-2. So that is it for today's video. As I mentioned, guys, please do go and check GYR out down below in the description. He has all his links down there. Please do go and show him some love and drop him a follow on Twitch whilst you're at it. And also check out this playlist right here. It's all the tactics that the main man has released on FM23 this year.